Hey, my name's Callum from Pacific, and today we're going over the exact method we use to scale a supplement brand from 16% to 53% Klaviyo revenue within just 90 days. So if your brand's looking to scale your email revenue, watch this video because I'm going to reveal exactly how we went from, you can see, around 10,000 per month all the way to over 50,000 per month in email revenue. So before versus after, you can see in May, they were generating around 13,000, which is 16%. Fast forward to November, 55,000 from November, with 53% coming from email alone. To give a little bit of context about the brand and their situation prior to working with us, well, one of the main things I was struggling with at the time was their ad costs were extremely high, which resulted in difficulty scaling profitably. So this is a case for many brands, and it usually comes down to a few things. They aren't able to convert enough leads on the front end, so maybe their welcome flows, their pre-purchase flows, so their abandoned cart, site abandonment, browser abandonment, aren't fully built out and optimized, so they can't convert as many leads as possible on the front end. And then also on the back end, the post-purchase experience isn't really as built out and as thorough as it should be, which results in low LTV and less profitability on the back end, which means they're paying more for each ad click they're getting to their website, which makes it really hard when it comes to scaling your brand, because you have to keep relying on the ad spend rather than retention to do the heavy lifting. Another problem they had a 10,000 email subscriber list size, and these users were rarely contacted. So a lot of these people were, would have been engaged, but they just haven't really built out a strong campaign strategy to engage and convert these subscribers. So that was something else they had. Also, their flows that they did have set up, they weren't even sure they were set up properly. So I think the founder had set these up himself, and lacking that Klaviyo experience, he didn't really know if he'd built up the triggers all correctly. On top of that, he didn't really know if the strategy matched the customer journey for their subscribers. So they were kind of unsure, and they knew that they weren't getting as much bang for their buck with their email flows. On top of this, they had no campaigns being sent out. So they only sent out campaigns when the founder had time. And as you know, as a founder or a marketing manager, things pile up over a month, and you get to the end of the month and maybe your emails have just been left on the back burner and you don't end up sending anything out. And if you do, you probably, spend half an hour to an hour scraping together an email just to get it sent out. So this resulted in a really poor email campaign strategy and a poor subscriber experience, because subscribers would go weeks, even months without getting an email. So this resulted in low conversion rates and really low subscriber engagement, which negatively affected their results. On top of this, to make matters worse, the emails that they did send out were landing in the spam folder. So this had another really negative impact, because even though they were putting together emails on occasion, the emails that they did put together were going to the spam folder, and they weren't even getting opened by their subscribers. So all of that is terrible. And on top of that, they had a very lackluster post-purchase experience. They didn't really take the time to build out post-purchase replenishment flows and really nurture the new customers, which resulted in poor LTV. So they knew they were leaving money on the table, and the customers that they did have weren't coming back. And even though their products, were repeat purchases because it is a supplement company, people weren't buying again because the systems and the flows weren't in place. So that was their situation prior to working with us. And after the audit, the initial audit, we actually came up with a custom strategy to really grow their email revenue. And this was the implementation process. So it included 4 steps, and this is a high level overview. The actual process was a lot more in depth, which I'll cover soon. But just to give you sort of a bird's eye look, number 1 was to fix their deliverability. So no matter how good your strategy is, if your deliverability sucks, nothing really matters at the end of the day, because people aren't going to see your emails. So number 1 was to fix their deliverability. Then number 2, once we fix their deliverability, it's building out the new detailed flows and a new website pop-up. Then step number 3 was value-based campaign strategy. And number 4, finally, was testing and optimizing the Klaviyo account to maximize results. So that was the implementation process. I'm going to walk you through each step now. So step number 1, fixing their deliverability. Now, 99% of brands I actually work with and audit have deliverability issues. The reason why is because deliverability is getting tougher and tougher every single month. And at the time, this brand was not following good deliverability practices, meaning their open rates were low and the emails were landing in the spam folder. This resulted in the majority of subscribers not actually seeing the emails, which was hurting sales. Therefore, our highest priority was to get emails consistently back into the primary inbox and get eyeballs on our content. So we implemented our deliverability detox protocol, and we implement this for every single client that we join. So no matter where you are, no matter how good your deliverability is, we always implement this protocol just so we have things set up right from the get-go. And this is what we did with this client. So the protocol consists of 4 steps. Number 1 is auditing existing sender reputation via a tool called Unspam. So we use unspam.email to perform inbox placement tests, and this helps us assess sender reputation, and it tells us where your emails are landing in each different service provider. So Google, Yahoo, Outlook, all the service providers, we find out where you're actually landing. Are you landing in spam, promotions, or inbox? And then that gives us a real good analysis and roadmap of where to go from there. It also tells us if your domain is set up correctly, and if you need to add any records. Step number 2 is ensuring the correct domain setup. So once we perform that inbox placement test, we ensure proper DKIM, SPF, DMARC implementation, and ensure that you are set up on a dedicated sending domain. So at the time, the client was not actually on a dedicated sending domain. So that was one of the lowest hanging fruits that we implemented to really boost sender reputation. The third step we implemented was performing an initial list clean. Now, most brands we work with, including this brand, hadn't cleaned their list in over 6 to 12 months. So there were a lot of high-risk subscribers still in their account that they were emailing. So we had to clean the list and create some segments that we could suppress in order to boost sender reputation. And even sometimes what we do is we verify the proper list collection methods. So sometimes people get their subscribers from giveaways or from other brands, which result in low quality subscribers. So we made sure they had the correct list collection methods, and then we suppressed all the high risk subscribers via our list cleaning protocol. And then number 4 was rewarming the domain by sending to highly engaged users only. So for the first sort of 3 to 4 weeks, we only sent to 15-day engaged subscribers, and then we slowly ramped up to 90-day engaged until we hit 40% opens. We also only set high engagement flows live. We didn't worry about setting any specialty flows live that have low engagement, because that's going to affect our deliverability. Now looking at Detox Results, so you can see before they were at about 40 deliverability score, which is poor. You know, open rates low, click rates low, bounce rates were high, unsubscribe rates were high. And then by the end of that program, we were able to get their deliverability score to 86, and we're still working on getting them back to the 100 mark. But 86 is, you know, in the top sort of 5% of all brands. So that's really, really amazing. You can see the improvements in the open rate, the click rate, the bounce rate, and the decrease in unsubscribe and spam complaint rates. So we're really, really happy with the Detox Results. And this took about, you know, I'd say about 4 to 6 weeks. Awesome. Step 2 is building out automations. So now that we fixed the deliverability, we built out the automations, which consisted of 3 different areas. Number 1, list growth strategy. Number 2, pre-purchase email flows. Number 4, post-purchase email flows. So let's dive into the list growth strategy. So their existing pop-up at the time was converting at only 1.4%, which is very, very low for a supplement brand. So what we did, we implemented a brand new website pop-up with the following traits. We focused on clear headline, having a mystery discount to drive curiosity, and a simple design and big buttons. We're able to improve the sign-up rate to 11.4%, which is a 10x increase in list growth. And after 3 months, their list size went from 10,000 to 30,000 subscribers, which was a substantial increase. So the most sort of low-hanging fruit and the highest ROI task you can do with your email marketing is implementing a pop-up that converts at 10%. The reason why is every single percent counts. And if your email list is growing at 1%, if you can get it to 10%, your email list is going to grow 10 times faster. And within no time, you're going to get thousands of more people going through your flows and seeing your campaigns, which has a substantial effect on your results. So here are some example pop-ups similar to what this client did. Due to NDA agreements, we can't really disclose exact, information about our clients, but here are some examples that we implemented in terms of pop-up. We focused on clear headlines, simple buttons, mystery discounts. You get the gist. The next strategy was the pre-purchase email flows. So as their customer acquisition costs were sky high and they were really struggling to scale up their ad spend, we knew that adding some core pre-purchase flows would help convert more traffic that was visiting their site, which in effect would drive down their acquisition costs. So these were the pre-purchase flows that we did implement. As you can see here, I'm just going to walk you through each of the flows. So we've got the welcome flow, site abandonment flow, browse abandonment flow, abandoned cart, and abandoned checkout flow. So As you can see, they're really, really detailed, and they're not just 2 to 3 emails. They go in depth. Welcome Fly has 8 emails here. The reason why is it takes time to really drive that first purchase for a lot of people, because they're not really sure. Maybe they're checking out competitors. Maybe they're unsure the product is actually suited for them. So we really need to warm them to the brand with a strong welcome flow that nurtures them over the span of 2 weeks. So you can see the type of emails we have are like brand story, bestsellers, us versus them, reviews you just see, discount reminders, and founder follow-ups. Moving on to the site abandonment flow. So this is when someone's active on the site, but they don't actually view any products or they don't add anything to cart. So here we're just nudging them and recommending some bestsellers to get them back to the website. This one here is a browse abandonment flow. So this one is one of my favorite flows because this is where people have viewed a product but they haven't added to cart. So what we do here is we give them more information about our products. We highlight, why they should choose us and include some social proof. So here we got frequently asked questions, highlight unique selling points and reviews, handle any objections. So if there's, some objections that are common with your brand, such as your price point or social proof, stuff like that, you can handle those front on, which work really, really well. And then you can even introduce a discount as well to get people to make that purchase. The last 2 here are the same flow, it's just different triggers. So checkout started and added to cart are 2 different triggers. So we need separate flows, but we can include the exact same content. So as you can see with this flow here, it's just a gentle nudge, unique selling points, handle frequently asked questions. If they've never ordered before, we can introduce a discount and then a follow-up. And if they have ordered before, it's just a friendly founder message because we know that they can convert and price isn't an issue. So just a nudge from the founder usually tends to work well to convert these subscribers. But as you can see, this is the pre-purchase sort of overall flow strategy we implemented. And this right here was one of the main levers that drove down their customer acquisition costs, which allowed them to reinvest more into their ad spend because they were much more profitable on the front end. Here are some example emails of like welcome email, site abandonment email, us versus them sort of thing. So you can see what we're doing is we're really separating ourselves from competitors. And the whole goal here is just to be concise, clear, and simple. So you don't want to get too crazy with it. You just want simple design, simple copy, and clear call to actions. Moving on to the next sort of strategy, we focus on post-purchase email flows. So at the time, their customer post-purchase experience was very basic and not really well thought through. They had a pretty much basic, generic post-purchase thank you email. And as a result, they were struggling to get customers to stick with the brand and become second time, third time, fourth time buyers of the brand. So this obviously resulted in low LTV, low cart sizes, and it also heavily affected the profitability of their brand. So what we did here is we mapped out their customer journey. We thought, how long does it usually take for people to rebuy? When do they need to rebuy? When do they need to top up their supplements? And from there, we created an amazing post-purchase experience by implementing these flows here. So you can see the first one is the post-purchase flow. We actually split this up into 4 different people. So we split it up from first time to second time to third time to fourth time buyers. What this did is it really allowed us to create a custom, unique post-purchase experience and thank them separately based on how many times they have bought. Because if we just send them the same email every time they buy, it's not really that custom and nurtured because they're just receiving a generic customer thank you email. So you can see with the first time buyers, what they got here was a thank you email, which is from the founder and just outlining shipping expectations. From there, we got an email saying how to use the product, so including advice on how to use that item and building excitement about their product. So we're showing unboxing videos, more testimonials of people happy with their purchase, really reducing buyer's remorse and getting them ready for the product when it does come. Then we waited 7 days and sent them an SMS sign-up offer. So by now they probably would have received their product and we can include a sign-up offer to get them on the SMS list. So not only should you be collecting SMS in your pop-up, you should also be collecting it more in the back-end stage of a customer journey. So if we are including an incentive to join the SMS list, it's really going to be valuable at getting more SMS subscribers. And we know these SMS subscribers are much more highly valuable and engaging than just being an email subscriber. And then lastly here, we send them a referral program email. So if you have referral programs set up, a really good idea is to send an email in the post-purchase phase, just asking them to refer their friends and receive an incentive. So if you have give 10, get 10 sort of program set up, that works really, really well. For the second time buyers, we sent them a thank you message, but it was a separate one from the first time, and it was thanking them again for their second purchase. And then we're also sending them the how to use product again based on what product they did order. Then when they got to the third time buyer, we welcome them to the VIP section. So this is where the LTV really starts to kick in, because we welcome them to the VIP group and then we outline them some VIP exclusive offers. So now that they're a VIP, they're going to feel more loyal to your brand because they have that status there that other customers don't have, and we give them VIP exclusive offers. We also have a VIP offers reminder email 14 days later, which is just reminding them of the VIP status and then offers as well. So some offers you can include, a discount on all your products or on your next order. You can have early access to new sales and early access to product launches or sneak peeks and stuff like that. So here you want to get creative and really create sort of a community within a community in your email list. And you're giving them all insight into, more stuff about the brand that maybe you don't want to give away to everyone else. Fourth time buyers here, all we need to do here, because they've bought 3 times already, so we just need to thank them for being a VIP and their ongoing loyalty. So just a thank you email here works really, really well. And to sort of further back onto this post-purchase flow strategy, your campaign should really come in handy here because you are giving them incentives to become a VIP, and you're letting them know, hey, you're 1 to 2 purchases away from being a VIP. Here's what you get as a VIP, and we're really incentivizing that third purchase. So really, really useful flow there that really boosted their LTV. Another flow here on the post-purchase phase was the cross-sell flow. The reason why we implement this is it really improves boosting LTV on the back end as well, because we're recommending products they bought, recommending new products based on what they bought. So here you've got because you bought X, here's Y. And here you can get pretty complex and tailor it based to what they purchased. So they're receiving emails based on complementary products that are suited to what they've already bought. So you can make this as long as you like. We like to do 3 or so emails here and tailor it based on what they purchased. Next one here is the customer win-back flow. So this is when someone hasn't ordered in a certain amount of days. We're just letting them know, hey, it's been 1 to 2 months since your last order. Here's updates on what's changed with the brand. Here, we want to highlight the importance of repurchasing and sticking to their supplement regime or whatever they've purchased. And then we're also introducing a win-back offer if we haven't gotten that repurchase. So that's the flow we implement there. And then lastly is a sunset unengaged flow, which is crucial for your deliverability, making sure we're filtering out old unengaged subscribers and giving them sort of a last chance to rejoin our list, or we are going to suppress them. So that's the key flow there to really make sure we're maintaining strong deliverability. So here are some example emails. So you can see this is like a reorder email here saying, hey, it's time to restock, running low on supplements. Here's why you should, keep repurchasing and why you should stick to your dose. Another one here is your order will be arriving soon. So this is, after they've ordered maybe a couple of days and they're waiting for their order. You just give them some info on how to set up their new product, or you're showing them tips and tricks, maybe unboxing videos, that sort of thing. And here's a VIP email you can implement saying, hey, you're now a VIP. Here are your VIP perks. You got 15% off, exclusive VIP early access to sales, and first to hear about new product releases. So that's sort of some examples there. And hopefully that gives you a good indication on how to build sort of a strong post-purchase strategy. Moving on to step 3, and this is ramping up campaigns. So previously the founder was sending out campaigns only when he had the time. This meant that the sending cadence was very inconsistent, and sometimes weeks would pass without any campaigns being sent out, resulting in missed opportunity for revenue and a lot of flaky subscriber engagement. So first thing we did is we created some core segments. So we created the 14, 30, 60, 90, 120, 180 day engaged segments. These were the core email segments that we sent to for most of our campaigns. We also created some more specialty segments. So VIP customers, window shoppers, which are people who haven't purchased before, but they're engaged with the brand, unengaged segment, and then bounced email segments. In terms of the strategy for email campaigns, we took an 80-20 split between evergreen/promotional campaigns, because too many discount emails and you're going to actually cheapen your brand, which means, and can lead to only driving sales when you are pushing a discount, which is a brand you don't want to be. You want to be able to drive sales just from evergreen sort of content rather than just customers waiting for a sale all the time. Yeah, like I said, the goal is to be able to drive consistent revenue with your evergreen emails. And then when you do sprinkle in a discount email, the sales are going to skyrocket. So here's an example, evergreen campaigns. These are like, reviews, content, value focused campaigns. You should be sending 80% of the time these, and then 20% of the time you have like your promotional campaigns. In terms of like sending campaigns to each specific segment, a problem that they had was they were just sending to their whole list every single email. And this really resulted in a lack of personalization within the campaign content. So we split it up into segments, and then we changed our sending based on who we were sending to. So for engaged segment, we're sending evergreen emails, promotional emails. So they're pretty much getting, majority of emails. And then when it came to like window shoppers, we wanted to send more value building emails and exclusive discounts to really encourage the first purchase, because these are people who are engaged, they've never ordered before. So here are some examples of like, testimonial before versus afters, why choose us, lots of review based emails, and we're really trying to push that first order. In terms of campaigns to VIP customers, these are people who've purchased 3 or more times, or maybe they spent over a certain amount. You want to send them early access to sales, exclusive insight to product launches, and then founder messages of appreciation and exclusive offers. So here are some examples, like VIP early access to sales, and just exclusive content that they might want to receive. Awesome. Okay, the last step here was testing and optimizing. So now that we created a strong foundational email strategy, the last ongoing step was continual testing and optimization. So for this brand, this was the real kicker, as they had beliefs about what really drove a customer purchase, but they really didn't do any testing to find what was actually true and if there was actual evidence behind their beliefs. So what we did, we rolled out our monthly A/B testing protocol, which resulted in thousands of dollars in extra revenue on a monthly basis. So in terms of our protocol, we had 3 different things we like to test. So we tested send times. This was one of the most important things because it gave us important data of what the best time to send our subscribers. So the metric we wanted to track here was open rate. And then we wanted to test, big send time discrepancies like 10 a.m. versus 4 p.m. And then once we had a set of winners, we'd narrow down and find the best send time. So for this brand, we found out the best send time was actually 10 a.m. Based on, a couple months worth of testing all different send times. So then when it came to sales and promotions, we knew 10 a.m. was going to be that sweet spot for open rates. In terms of subject lines, we tested a lot of different sort of subject line formats. So emojis versus no emojis. We test all caps versus no caps, short subject line versus long, question statement. And for this brand, we found having emojis in the subject line actually really outperformed having no emojis. Now, it's important that you don't just take this at full value and go and implement emojis into your subject lines. You need to do testing to make sure your customers are actually going to be receptive to that. Last thing we like to test was more plain text versus designed emails. The reason why is because a lot of customers are going to act differently if there's a plain text email from the founder versus a more company focused designed email. So for this brand, it kind of depended on the sale and the promotion and the type of the email. For instance, during sale campaigns, the plain text emails actually outperformed more design focused emails. So we definitely like to leverage plain text emails, but when it came to evergreen style content, the designed emails tended to outperform. So that was really useful data that we made sure to plan when we were building out campaign calendars. The last step here was deliverability maintenance. So this was just ongoing deliverability, such as monthly email list cleaning, Klaviyo reporting to make sure all the metrics were correct, regular inbox placement testing. So with that unspam.email software, we did regular inbox placement testing to make sure we were always in the inbox and not back in the spam folder. And then we did constant analysis of inbox provided deliverability metrics just to make sure we weren't slipping back into the spam folder. One of the most important things and the number one constraint for most brands is actually falling into the spam folder. So it's so important every single month you're consistently testing to make sure you're not having any decrease in your sort of deliverability metrics. Awesome. Moving on to today. So fast forward, after we implemented this whole strategy to today, their email list growth is growing really fast, and they have a sign-up form now converting at 12%. They have strong pre-purchase flows, driving down CPA so they can finally scale profitably. They have more repeat orders and higher LTV due to post-purchase flows we implemented. We're now sitting 10 campaigns per month, and they drive $30,000 per month in revenue that they didn't have before. And most importantly, their emails are back in the primary inbox. So amazing results from this sort of 90-day strategy. And if you want email growth like this, I'd like to offer you a completely free e-commerce email marketing audit. 30-minute session with myself. We'll diagnose your current weak points. We'll jump into your Klaviyo account and we'll pull apart every single area which you may be losing money. And then from there, we'll provide you with a custom roadmap that you can actually go ahead and implement by yourself. Completely free, no strings attached. So if you want to claim that audit, just hit the link in the description and you can book in a time with myself and I'll speak to you soon. Cheers.